children mustn't see it until tonight, after it's trimmed. How much is that?
50 or.
All right, let me see what I have in here. Keep the change.
Thank you.
He's home.
Is that my little songbird typing away up?
Yes,
Is that my little squirrel rustling?
it is.
When did Scorpion get home?
Just now. Torvald, come out here and see what I bought.
Just a moment. Did you say bought? All those? Has my little songbird been spending all my money again?
It's the first year we don't have to scrimp and save.
That doesn't mean we have money to burn.
Oh, but can't we burn just a little? Just a tiny little, now that you're getting such a big paycheck.
After January the 1st. And even then we won't see the money till the end of the first quarter.
Well, we could borrow till then.
Nora! What a sweet little featherbrain it is. I borrow 1,000 kroner a day, and you spend it all by Christmas. And then on New Year's Eve, a tile falls on my head and kills
don't
me.
say that.
Well, suppose it did.
Well, if it did, then what would I care if I owed people money?
What about them? The people I borrowed from?
I don't even know their names.
Just like a woman. But seriously, you know what I think? No borrowing, no debt. When a household relies on debt, it's slavery. Vile. We struggled on this far without the two of us, and we'll struggle on a little longer until we don't have to struggle anymore.
Yes, Torvald.
Is my little songbird drooping her wings? Is my little squirrel making sulky faces? Nora, what have I got here?
Money?
There. Heavens, do you think I don't know what it costs at Christmas
30,
time?
40, oh, thank you, Torvald. Now I'll manage.
You must manage.
I will. Now, come and see what I bought. Bargains. And this one we have a toy horse for Bob, a dolly, and a sword for Ivar. Oh, here. There's handkerchiefs and dress lengths for the maids.
Oh, and
Old Emily really should have some.
what's
No!
this one?
Not till tonight.
What about my own little spendthrift? What does she want herself?
You know me. I don't want anything.
Of course you do. Tell me some little thing you want more than all
I
the
really
world.
don't, unless
Yes.
Torvald. If you really wanted to give me something,
Out with it.
you could give me some money of my own, just what you can
Oh,
spare.
Nora.
I could keep it till I really wanted something. I could wrap it in pretty paper and hang it on the tree. It'd be so pretty, Torvald.
Yes, it really would be a good idea. If you really didn't manage to save it, spend it on yourself. But you'll just put it into the housekeeping. You'll spend it on this or that, and I'll end up forking
No,
out.
Torvald.
Nora, yes. What a sweet little featherbrain it is. But it swallows up so much money. It costs a lot of money to keep a little featherbrain.
Don't be horrid. I do save all that I can.
All you can, that's right. The only problem is you can't.
Well, songbirds and squirrels. You know how we spend and spend.
Yes, what a funny little featherbrain it is. But it swallows up so much money. It costs a lot of money to keep a little featherbrain. Daddy's daughter. 1,000 little ways of wiggling pennies, and once you have them, they melt in your hands. You never know where they've gone, Nora. It's in the blood. It's inherited.
Well, I wish I'd inherited some of Daddy's other traits.
I wouldn't have you any different. But what is it? There must be something. Yes, just there.
What?
Look at me.
There.
Is my little sweet tooth naughty in town today?
What do you mean?
She hasn't been to the sweetie shop.
No.
She's not been nibbling.
No.
Not one tiny
Torvald, I
macaroon.
swear.
It's all right. I was only joking.
You told me not to. Do you really think that I'd go behind your back and just...
Of course not. You did promise. Darling, keep all your Christmas secrets to yourself. They'll all come out this evening when we light the tree.
Did you remember to invite Dr. Ron?
There's no need. He'll eat with us, goes without saying. But I'll ask him again when he comes this morning. I've ordered good wine. Oh, you can't imagine how excited I am for this evening.
So am I. What fun the children will have.
A good job, a secure income. Isn't it wonderful?
Wonderful.
You remember last Christmas? How you shut yourself in here evening after evening for 3 weeks, making tree decorations and all the other surprises? The dullest 3 weeks I've ever spent.
I wasn't bored.
It's not as if anything much came of it, Nora.
Don't be horrid. How could I guess that the cat would get in and tear everything to bits?
Of course you could. You wanted to please us. That was the main thing. But thank goodness, even so, that those hard times are past us now.
It's really wonderful.
No more Torvald sitting all alone and bored. No more Nora wearing out her lovely eyes and her pretty little
No,
fingers.
never again. Shall I tell you what we ought to do after
What?
Christmas? We ought to have... Oh, yes, what a nuisance.
I'm not at home.
All right. There's a lady, madam. A stranger. Show her in. The doctor's here, too.
In the study?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Nora.
Good morning.
You don't recognize me.
No. Wait a minute. Christine!
That's right.
Oh, to think I didn't recognize you. It's been so long.
9, 10 years.
Oh, has it really been so long? These past 8 years I've been so happy. And now you've come to town. Such a long journey, and in winter, too. Aren't you brave?
I came on the steamer this morning.
Just in time for Christmas. What a time we'll have. But take off your coat. You can't be cold. Oh. Look, we can come be cozy by the stove, all right? You take this chair, and I'll take the rocking chair. Here, let me. There, that's better. It was just that first moment. You've changed, Christine. You're paler, thinner.
Older.
A tiny bit. But how thoughtless of me sitting here going on and on. Christine, darling, I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
You lost your husband.
3 years ago.
I read it in the paper and I always meant to write, but I kept putting it off. There was always something.
Don't worry.
It was horrid of me. But tell me, did he leave you enough to live on?
No.
You've children.
No.
You've nothing.
Not even sad memories.
Oh, but surely
It
there must be
happens, Nora.
completely alone. Must be awful. I've got 3 beautiful children. They're not here now. They're out with their nanny. Bob, Emmy, and Ivar. But tell me everything.
No, you first.
No, today I won't be selfish. I'll put you first. But there is just one thing. Do you know what a stroke of luck we've had?
What is it?
They've made my husband manager at the bank.
That's wonderful.
Unbelievable. He was a lawyer, but that's not very dependable, especially when you won't take on the cases of people you don't approve of. Torvald never would, and of course I agree with him. But now, imagine, he starts in the new year. He'll have a big salary and lots of bonuses. Our lives will be so different, Christine. We'll be able to do whatever we want. Oh, it's wonderful to have no more worries, all one needs.
Wonderful, yes, to have all one needs.
And not just all one needs, but lots of money. Lots.
Nora, have you still not grown up? You were an extravagant little thing at school.
Nora. That's just what Torvald calls me. She's not all featherbrained, though. Not all you both think. We've never had the money for me to waste. We've had to work, both of us.
You as well.
Odds and ends. Sewing, embroidery. Did you know when we got married, Torvald set up on his own at the office? He'd no prospects at the bank, and he had to make more money. In the first year, he overworked terribly. It was because of the money. He had a complete mental breakdown. The doctor said we had to go away. Go south.
You went to Italy, didn't you? A year in Italy?
It was hard to get away. I was expecting Ivar any day, but the doctors insisted, so we went, and it was wonderful, Christine. It saved Torvald's life. The only thing was, it cost a fortune.
I can imagine.
4,800 kroner.
You were lucky to have it just when you needed it.
Yes, well, it came from Daddy.
I remember your father died about that time.
Can you imagine? I couldn't go look after him. It was just after Ivar was born and Torvald was really ill. Oh, darling Daddy. I never saw him again. Christine, it was the worst time of my whole married life.
I know how fond you were of him. Which then almost it.
The doctors insisted, and we'd had the money then, so we went a month later.
And your husband recovered?
Oh, yes.
But the doctor.
Pardon.
I thought the maid said that was the doctor.
Oh, Dr. Wrong. No, he's Torvald's oldest friend. He calls every day. Since Italy, Torvald hasn't seen a moment's illness. The children are fine, and so am I. It's all so wonderful, Christine. We're so happy, so lucky. Oh, but how thoughtless of me, sitting here talking of nothing but myself. Tell me everything. Is it true you didn't really love your husband? Why did you marry him?
My mother was still alive, bedridden, hopeless. I had 2 younger brothers to look after. When he proposed, how could I not accept?
He'd the money then too, hadn't he?
Then he did, I think. But his business was shaky. After he died, it collapsed in pain.
How did you
Whatever
manage?
I could do. A shop, a little school. It's been endless hard work these past 3 years. I haven't had a moment. Now it's finished. My mother's passed on. Needs nothing more. The boys have jobs they don't need me either.
Oh, Christine, you must feel so relieved.
No, empty. No one left to live for. I couldn't bear it any longer like in that backwater. Better to find something here. To occupy me. To fill my mind. If I could get a job, some kind of
Christine, that'll be exhausting, draining. You look tired. Why don't you go away somewhere? Have a holiday.
Dear Nora, I know Daddy to pay the bills.
Don't be cross.
Nora, don't you be cross. The worst thing about a situation like mine is that it makes you hard. No one else to work for, always out for yourself. And survival, it makes you selfish. You won't believe this. When you told me how well things were going for you, I was delighted. Not for you, for me.
Pardon. Oh, if Torvald did something
Yes.
for you. Christine, of course he will. I'll see to it all. Put him in a good mood. I'll find a way. Christine, I'd love to help you.
You're so kind, so eager to help me. Especially you, when you so little idea how difficult life can be.
Me.
Sewing, embroidery, Nora, you're a babe in arms.
Don't be so snooty.
What do you mean?
All of you are the same. None of you think I can manage anything serious.
No.
You don't think I know how hard life
But
is.
you just told me yourself.
Fiddle! Those were nothing. I haven't told you the real one.
What's for one?
None of you take me seriously.
I take
You
everyone
should. Aren't you
seriously.
proud of all you
Of course
did?
I'm proud.
Everything you did for your
My
mother.
mother's lessons was
And your
easier.
brothers. You're proud of what you
I
did
have
for
a right
them.
to be.
Of course you do. I have a right to be proud too, you know.
Why? What do you mean?
Christine, no one in the world must ever find out for you. All right?
No, what?
Come here. The person who saved Torvald's life? It was me.
Saved his life? How?
I told you the trip to Italy.
But your father.
That's what everyone thought. Torvald, everyone.
But if
I got the money. I paid
all of it?
4,800 kroner.
Nora, how did you win the lottery?
The lottery. That wouldn't have been clever.
How did you get it then? You didn't borrow it.
Why not?
A wife can't borrow without her husband's permission.
Unless she knows about business. Knows her way around.
I don't understand.
Anyways, I didn't say I did borrow it. There are plenty of other ways. Maybe it was one of my admirers. I am such a pretty little thing.
You're silly.
And you're nosy.
Nora, you're sure you haven't done something rash?
Save my husband's life.
I mean rash, if you didn't know.
Don't you get it? He was never to know how ill he was. The doctors came to me, and told me that his life depended on it. I'm in the south in the sun. Do you think I didn't try to wheedle him? I told him that it was for me, how lovely it would be to go abroad like other young wives. I begged, I cried. I told him to think of my condition. I hinted that we took out a loan. Christine, he almost lost his temper. Fine, I thought, if you won't find a way yourself. So I found a way.
Torvald never knew the money wasn't from your father.
Of course. I wanted to tell Daddy to ask him for help, but first he was too ill and it was too late.
And you've never told your husband?
For heaven's sake! Torvald, a man, proud to be a man. When he thinks the way he does, if he knew he owed me anything, it would break us apart. Our lovely home, our happiness, gone.
You won't ever tell him.
Perhaps someday. Not such a pretty little thing. Don't laugh at. I mean, when he's not as smitten with me as he is now. When he gets tired of me dressing up, reciting, dancing. Maybe then I'll need something in store. No, it'll never happen. So, Christine, what do you think of my big secret? Do you still think I'm just a silly little girl? Have no idea how hard life is? Don't think it's been easy keeping up with the payments every time. Quarterly accounts, installments, I can tell you all about that sort of thing. Keeping up with them is not easy. I've saved everything I could. Never much from the housekeeping because of Torvald's position. Everything he gave me for my little darlings, I spent on them. They had to wear nice clothes.
You came out of your own allowance?
What else? That was mine to do as I liked with. Every time Torvald gave me some money for clothes, I would put half of it away. I bought the simplest, cheapest things. Thank heavens, everything looks good on me. Torvald never noticed, but it was difficult, Christine, often. Nice to wear nice things, don't you think?
Oh, yes, yes.
Fortunately, there were other things I could do. Last winter, I got a lot of copying, and I sat in here every night and wrote into the small hours. It was exhausting, Christine, but it was thrilling, too. Sitting here writing, almost like a man.
How much have you paid back?
I don't know business. It's hard to keep track of. All I know is I paid everything I could. The number of times I didn't know how I'd manage. Whenever that used to happen, I used to sit here and daydream. There was a rich old man, head over heels in love with me.
What? Who?
When he died, they opened his will, and there it was in capital letters. All my cash to be delivered to that lovely Nora Helmer over
Who on
Exeter.
earth was it?
Can't you guess? He was imaginary. Just someone who would come into my head every time I sat here trying to think up some way to get money. Anyways, I don't need him now. The old nuisance can stay away. I don't need his will, and I don't need his money. Christine, I can play with the children, make up the house, make everything just the way Torvald likes it. Soon it'll be spring, the wide blue sky. We could go away somewhere, have a holiday. Christine, I'm so happy, so relieved.
I'd better go.
No, stay. Be for Torvald.
There's a gentleman here to see the master.
The bank manager.
Yes, but Dr. Ronk is still in.
Who's the gentleman?
Me, Mrs. Helmer.
You. What do you want?
I work at the bank. Very junior. Your husband is the new manager, so
So it's just...
business. Mrs. Helmer, nothing else.
All right. He's in the study. Please go in and see him.
Nora, who was that?
Krogstad. He used to be a lawyer.
Oh, yes.
You knew him.
A long time ago, he was a solicitor's clerk.
Yes.
How he's changed.
Unhappy marriage.
Didn't his wife die? Isn't he a widower?
With a house full of children.
What does he do now?
I don't know. Let's not talk about business. It's boring.
No, dear friend. I'll leave you be. I'll go talk with Nora instead. Oh, there's company here as well.
It's all right. Dr. Ronk, I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Lind.
Mrs. Lind, my dear lady, we've often heard your name in this house. Wait, wasn't it you I passed on the stairs just now?
I go slowly. I find stairs hard.
Oh, you're not well.
Overworked.
Oh, so you've come to town for our distractions.
To find work.
Now, was that the best cure for overwork?
One has to live.
Yes, so they say.
Doctor, you know you want to live.
Indeed. No matter how much misery I know, I intend to prolong it as long as possible. All of my patients feel the same way, including those who are morally sick. One of whom is in coma as we speak.
Oh, whoever do you mean?
Krogstad, his name is, an ex-lawyer. No one you know, but totally depraved. Even he was going on about how he had to live.
Why did he want to speak to Torvald?
Something about the bank.
I didn't know he held a position at the bank.
Very junior from what I hear. Now, I don't know if it's the same where you come from. There's some people that go around ferreting out weakness, and as soon as they find it, they back the person concerned into a corner. A very profitable corner indeed, with no escape. But if you're strong, they leave you be.
You don't need curing unless you're sick.
Well, that makes our society a nursing home. What? How else would you describe society?
What do I care about? Silly old society. I'm laughing about something else. Dr. Ronk, is it true? Everyone that works at the bank has to answer to Torvald now.
You find that funny?
No, it's just strange to think that he has so much power over so many people. Dr. Ronk, a macaroon?
I thought they were
Christine gave me
forbidden.
what? How could you know that Torvald had forbidden them? He thinks I'll rot my teeth. Fiddle! Just once in a while. Don't you agree, Doctor?
I mean, yes.
You haven't too, Christine, all right? I guess I should have as well. Just a small one. I'm so happy. There's just one thing left.
And what's that?
There's something I'd like to say to Torvald. Straight out.
Say it.
I daren't. It's too terrible.
Terrible.
If it's terrible, don't say it. Here, say it to us instead. Now, what would you say if dear old Helmer was in
If
here?
Torvald was here, I'd say, good God!
Tut, tut. Oh, he's coming. Say it.
Darling, did you get rid of him?
Yes, he's gone.
Oh, there's someone I'd like to meet. This is Christine. She's come to town.
I'm sorry, Christine.
Mrs. Lind, darling.
One of Nora's old school friends.
Oh, we knew each other once.
Just imagine, she's come all this way just to talk to you.
Pardon.
No.
Christine is a genius at bookkeeping. All she needs is the right man to work for to show her more than she already knows.
Very commendable, Mrs. Lynn.
So, of course, as soon as she heard you'd been made the new bank manager, she came just as fast as she could. Won't you find her something, Torvald, for my sake?
It's not a bad idea. Tell me, madam, are you a widow?
Yes,
And you bookkeeping experience?
a bit.
And they will have something.
See?
In fact, Mrs. Lynn, your arrival could hardly have been better.
How can I ever thank you?
There's no need, but if you'll both excuse me now.
Oh, darling,
Wait, I'll come with you.
don't be gone long.
An hour, no more.
Christine, are you leaving too?
I need to find a room.
It's a shame we're so cramped here. If only we could just meet a
No.
little more.
Bye-bye, Nora. And thank you.
Till tomorrow. Yes, come tomorrow. You too, Dr. Ron? What if you're well enough?
Yes.
Of course you will be. Well, wrap up well. Hi, hello! Have you had a good time playing?
Just get out of this drought.
Anne-Marie, it's all right. I'll take care of them. All right? No, you look frozen, all right? Go in.
Come, Mrs.
Go and warm up by
This will soon be
yourself.
no place to be, except for mother.
Indeed.
Oh. Let's go stand here. All right, well, let's play chase instead. How about that? You're it. I'm going to count to 3 and you have to catch me, okay? 1, 2, 3, go! You can't catch me! Na na na! You can't get me! Oh, your boss! Oh, no! Oh, what am I to do? Is it my turn now? Am I it? All right, you gotta run. 1, 2, 3, go! Oh, I'm coming around this way. I'll catch you, I swear! Oh, you're so fast! Get ready, here I come!
Excuse me.
What is it that you want?
Sorry, the door was on the latch.
My husband's not in.
I know.
Well, then what is it?
It's you I want to speak to.
Me. Children, let's go into Anne-Marie, all right? Come on, I'll play with you later. Okay? You wanted to talk to me.
Yes.
It's not the first of the month.
It's Christmas Eve, and what sort of Christmas day you have depends on you.
I can't do anything tonight.
It's not that. It's something else. Later. You have got a moment, have you?
Yes, of course.
I was at Alton's restaurant and I saw your husband in the street.
Yes?
With a woman.
What of it?
Pardon me for asking, but was that Mrs. Lind?
Yes.
Just arrived?
Just today, but
Friend
I
of
don't...
yours? Mine too. Once.
I know.
Well, I'll have to get straight out. Has Mrs. Lind been given a job at the bank?
Mr. Krogstad, you shouldn't ask me that. Employee. Since you have, yes, Christine has been given a job, on my recommendation. Satisfied.
No, I thought she had.
One isn't entirely without influence, you know. Just because one is a woman and employees, people in positions of dependence, should be careful not to annoy people who have...
Have influence?
Exactly.
Mrs. Helmer, you'll oblige me by putting your influence to work for me.
What do you mean?
You'll oblige me by making sure I keep my position of dependence at the bank.
Someone taking it away?
Don't pretend you don't know. It's obvious your friend doesn't want to bump into me again. It's also obvious who I've got to thank for getting me the sack.
No, but please, I don't...
Never mind. I'm telling you. Use your influence to see that it doesn't
What
happen.
makes you think I have any influence?
I've known your husband for years. He can be influenced, Mr. Manager, just like anyone else.
If you're going to be impertinent about my husband, you can leave my house.
Oh, very brave.
I'm not scared of you. As soon as it's the new year, I'll be done with the whole business.
Mrs. Helmer, understand one thing. If it comes to it, I will fight for my job as if I were fighting for my life.
That's obvious.
The money's not important, it's something else. You must be aware that some time ago, a long time ago, I slipped up a little.
I heard.
I never came to court, but it blocked me, barred doors against me. I started my business. I had to make a living. You know what I mean. I wasn't one of the worst, but now I want done with it. My sons are growing up, and for their sakes, I want to be respectable again, as much as possible. That job at the bank was my first step, and now your husband is kicking me down to the
Mr.
mud.
Krogstad, for heaven's sake, I can't help you!
Can't? Won't, but I think you must.
You tell my husband I owe you money.
Why not?
How could you? My pride, my secret, my joy. And he hears it from you. It would be hard. It would be so awkward.
Awkward?
Do it and see where it gets you. My husband will see what sort of a man you are, and you'll never get your job back.
What I meant was, is it just awkwardness you're afraid of?
He'll pay you every penny as soon as he hears. Naturally, and then we'll be done with you forever.
Mrs. Helmer, pay attention. Either you have a very bad memory, or you know nothing of business. Better remind you. Your husband was ill. He came to me for a loan. 4,800 kroner.
Where else was I supposed to turn?
I said I'd find money.
And you did.
On certain conditions. You were so upset about your husband, so eager for the money to cure him. I don't think you noticed the condition. I'd better remind you. I said I'd find the money. I wrote a contract.
And I signed it.
That's right. But underneath your signature was a clause saying that your father would guarantee the repayments. You remember that, Mrs. Helmer?
I think so.
I left the date blank. You used to fill it in the date he signed the document. You remember that?
Yes.
I gave you the contract to post to your father. Remember that as well?
Yes.
You must have done it immediately because you brought it back in less than a week with your father's signature. And then I gave you the money.
I've been paying it back ever since, just as arranged.
Mrs. Helmer, let's keep to the point. That must have been a very difficult time for you. Your father was desperately ill. In fact, he died soon after, didn't he?
Yes.
Mrs. Helmer, can you remember the exact date? The date he died?
The 29th of September.
Yes, indeed. I checked. Which is what makes it so extraordinary, so hard to explain.
What's hard to explain?
The fact that your father signed this document 3 days after he died.
What do you mean?
Well, your father died on 29th September. He dated his signature. Here, look. The 2nd October. As I say, extraordinary. Can you explain it? Even more extraordinary, the words 2nd October and the date aren't in your father's writing, but in someone else's. I think I know whose. Well, but that can be easily explained. Your father forgot to date his signature, so someone else dated it for him. Someone who didn't know the date he died. But none of that's important. What's important is that the signature's genuine. There's no doubt about that, is there, Mrs. Helmer? This is your father's signature?
No. I signed it.
Oh, Mrs. Helmer, you
You'll
should
get
know
your
the-
money!
Tell me, why didn't you send your father the contract?
How could I? How could I tell him that my husband was so ill?
You
He
should have,
was dying. How could I tell him my husband was at death's door too?
you should have canceled your trip abroad.
My husband's life.
It never worried you that you were cheating me?
I couldn't let it. I couldn't consider you. I hated you. All that coldness, those conditions when you knew how sick my husband was.
Mrs. Helmer, you've obviously no idea exactly what you've done. I'll tell you, it was nothing more or less than my own mistake all those years ago.
You took a risk, that kind of risk, to save your wife.
The law's not interested in reason.
Then it's a fool.
Fool or not, it's what you'll be judged by. If I take this document to court.
Nonsense. I know nothing about the law, but that can't be right. A woman can't spare her dying father from care and worry. A wife can't save her ill husband's life. I know nothing about the law, but it can't be right. You were a lawyer. You were supposed to know about those kind of things. You can't have been much of a lawyer.
Maybe not, but contracts. The kind of contracts you made with me, I know all about those. So you understand? Good. Do as you please, but remember one thing. If I lose everything a second time, you keep me company.
Nonsense. That's ridiculous. He's just trying to scare me. I'm not so silly. No, I did it for love.
Mom, can we play a game now?
No, I'm sorry. I'm too busy just now. Go back in. Don't tell anyone that man was here, all right? Not even your father. Helen, bring in the Christmas tree. Where shall I put it, madam? Just right here.
Can I get anything else?
No, I've all I need, but thank you. All right. Yes. What a horrible man. No, don't think of it. She must be perfect. Must be lovely for tonight. Although I'll do anything you want. Sing for you, dance for you. Darling! Back so soon!
That's right. Has anyone called?
No?
I saw Croxett at the gate.
Croxett. He was here, but just for a moment.
Nora, I know what this is. He's asked you to put in a word for it, hasn't he?
Yes.
You were to pretend that he hadn't been here? You were to pretend that it was all your idea, that too?
Horrible.
Nora, how could you? Talk to a man like that, make promises, lie to me?
Lie.
No one called, you said. Little bird must never do that again. Little bird must only sing pretty songs, no nasty. Let's think no more of it. It's lovely and warm in here.
Torvald,
Yes?
I'm so excited for Boxing Day.
No.
The Stenbergs.
And I'm excited for your surprise.
I'm such a goose.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't think of what to wear. All my ideas seem silly.
Darling little Nora realizes this at last.
Torvald, are you busy?
Hmm?
Those papers.
Bank business.
Already.
The retiring manager is allowing me to review staffing and duties. I must try and get through some of it before the end of the week, before New Year's.
Almost across.
Yes.
Torvald,
Yes?
if you hadn't been so busy, I was going to ask you for a big favor.
What favor?
Well, it's a fancy dress party. I can't think of what to wear, and no one has taste like yours. I want to look lovely. Won't you settle it for me?
We'll soon figure it out.
You're very kind. Aren't these red flowers pretty? Did Krogstad do something really terrible?
Forge someone's signature. Can't you imagine?
Well, if he'd no alternative.
He made a mistake. I'm not heartless. I wouldn't condemn a man for one mistake. But plenty of people make mistakes and then admit them and take the punishment. But not Krogstad. He wriggled out of it, and that's what I can't forget.
You can't.
Imagine someone like that. Lies, hypocrisy, tricking everyone in sight. His wife, his children. That's the worst thing of all, the children.
What do you mean?
An atmosphere like that, a stench of lies and deceit, poisons the whole household. Each breath children take in a household like that is a lungful of deadly germs.
You can't really believe that.
Nora, when I was a lawyer, I hardly saw anything else. Almost always when someone goes bad young in life, the cause is a deceitful mother.
Just a mother.
It's usually the mother. Though a father can be just as bad, every lawyer knows. That's why darling little Nora must never ask me to help her. Nora, are you listening? Nora? Take hold. I just been working for darling. People like that literally make me ill.
It's so hot in here, and I've got such a lot to do.
I must try and get to do some of this before dinner, and then there's your dress to think about, and I may have a little something in gold paper to hang on the tree. My sweetheart treasure.
No, it can't be.
The children are crying for you. Shall I bring
No,
them?
Anne-Marie, I don't want to see them.
As Madam wishes.
Children are alone. No, it's impossible. Let's come in. No, no. Unless the letterbox is empty. No, of course not. Silly, it won't happen today. It's Christmas. Not tomorrow either. I've got 3 small children. Things like that don't happen.
I found it. The box with the fancy dress.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Just put it right here on the table.
It needs mending.
And it's bits.
You can fix it. Just a little patience.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. I'll ask Christine.
Out again in this weather, you'll catch a chill.
Never mind that. Are the children all right?
Playing with their Christmas presents.
Only, are they still asking for me?
You're used to having their mommy there.
No, Anne-Marie. I have no time anymore.
Well, little ones do get used to anything.
Do you think so? Do you think if their mommy went far away, they'd forget about her?
Far away.
Henry, there's something I've wanted to ask you. I've often wondered. How could you do it? How could you give your own child to be fostered?
I had no choice. How else could I have been your
But did you want to?
To get such a good position. A poor girl in trouble, he wasn't about to help.
I suppose she's forgotten all about you by now.
No, no. She wrote to me when she was confirmed and when she got married.
Henry, you were such a good mother to me when I was younger.
Poor baby, no one else.
And I know if my children had no one else to... Go back to them. You'll see how pretty I'll look tomorrow. If I dared go out, if I knew that nothing would happen, no one would come. Oh, don't think of it. Brush my muff. What pretty gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Someone's there. Christine, it's you. Is there anyone else?
They said you'd called and asked for me.
Yes, there's something I thought you could help me with. Here, come sit on the sofa. It's tomorrow night. There's a fancy dress party at the Stenglers, and Torvald insists that I go as a Neapolitan fisher girl and dance the tarantella that I learned in Capri.
Quite a show.
Well, he insists, only the dress is torn, and I don't know
It's
how...
easy. The frills come undone. Here. And here, that's all. You've a needle and thread?
Yes. You're very kind.
So tomorrow you'll be all dressed up? I'll pop in, see how you look. I never said thank you for that lovely evening yesterday.
Could have been even better if only you'd come to town sooner. Torvald really knows how to make a place welcoming, doesn't he?
And so do you, not your father's daughter for nothing. Is Dr. Rock always as gloomy as yesterday?
He was especially bad. The poor man is seriously ill. Lesions in his spine. His father was a horrible man. Woman after woman. That's why the son tainted blood.
Nora, how do you know about things like that?
Little. When you've got 3 children, people are always calling. Mothers, mostly. Medical things, they mention this and that. They know.
Does he come every day, Dr. Ronk?
He's been Torvald's best friend since they were children. My friend, too. One of the family.
You're sure he's all he seems, not just making himself agreeable?
What do you mean?
When you introduced us yesterday, he said he'd often heard my name here, but your husband had no idea who I was.
That's no mystery. Torvald was always so fond of me, he got jealous if I talked about people I'd known before, so I never did. But I often gossip with Dr. Ronk. He enjoys that sort
Nora,
of thing.
you are a child sometimes. Listen to me. I'm older, more experienced. Finish all this with Dr. Ronk.
What do you mean?
Yesterday you talked about a rich admirer, someone who'd lend you all his money.
Imaginary lass.
Does he come every day, Doctor?
I told you.
And he's well off?
Yes.
No dependents?
Why do you ask?
Calls here every day.
Yes.
How could a good friend be so presumptuous?
What do you mean?
Don't pretend, Nora. Do you think I can't guess who lent you all that money?
You're crazy. Dr. Ronk, a friend calls every day. Do you think I could bear it?
It isn't him.
No, of course not. Anyways, he has a penny to lend in those days. He came into money later.
That could be lucky for you.
You don't really think that I'm not sure if I did.
But you won't.
Of course I won't. But if I did,
Behind your husband's back?
I'll finish with the other one first. That's behind his back too, you know.
I said so yesterday, but I don't think
It's so easy for a husband to finish this sort of thing, but a wife,
her husband could do it.
you know. Christine, when you pay off a debt, you get your contract back.
I imagine so.
And you can tear it up. Burn the nasty, filthy thing.
What is it, Nora?
What?
Something's happened since yesterday.
Christine. Torvald. You know what? Take this in the other room and Anne-Marie will help you. Torvald hates seeing dressmaking.
All right. But I won't leave the house till we've talked about this
All
properly.
right. Darling, I've been waiting.
Was that the dressmaker?
Christine, she's helping me. I look lovely.
Wasn't it a good idea?
Aren't I good to do it?
Good to agree with your husband? Tut tut. Well, you'll be wanting to try it on, so I'll stay out of the way.
Torvald,
Yes?
if your little squirrel asked for something very nicely, would you say yes?
Depends on what it was.
You'd be good and kind and say yes. Your squirrel would dance and do lots of tricks.
Come on.
Songbird would chirp and sing in every room.
Songbird does that
I
anyway.
play fairies. Dance in the moonlight. Torvald,
Nora, this isn't what you were asking this morning.
I'm asking very nicely.
Nora, how can you bring that up again?
Please, give Krogstad his job back for me.
Darling, I've given Mrs. Lynn
And it was
Krogstad's
very
job.
good of you to do that, but can't you sack some other clerk instead of Krogstad?
I can't believe this. Obstinacy, just because you made him a
No, that
stupid
isn't
promise I'm
why.
supposed to.
He writes articles for a dreadful newspaper. You told me so. I'm scared of him, Torvald. Scared.
Because of the past.
What?
Well, obviously your father.
Yes, those spiteful men and all the things they wrote about him. Lies and slanders. If you hadn't been sent to inquire, he'd have lost his job. You were so kind, so helpful.
Nora, there's a vital difference between your father and I. Your father wasn't a respected public official. I am.
Torvald, the
And I
things
hope to
those
always
men
be
could
so
do
as
to
long
us.
as I'm in office.
We could be so happy here. Our lovely home, our children. Please, for me, give Krogstad his job back.
It's because you plead for him that I can't help him. Everyone at the bank knows I sacked him. If word got out that the bank manager changes his mind when his wife demands
What's
it,
wrong with that?
you mean if my little terrier got her way? I'd be a laughingstock. Before the whole staff, I couldn't have that.
Why not?
Krogstad and I were friends when we were children. I mean, we used first names. It was one of those stupid friendships you regret later in life. Even now, that tactless oaf won't let it lie, even when we're in company. Thinks it's quite in order to stroll up whenever he feels like it. Hey, Torvald, Torvald. Highly embarrassing. It would make my position at the bank impossible.
You've got to be joking.
You think so?
I can't believe you're so small-minded.
You think I'm small-minded?
No, that isn't what I meant. It's
Right.
just that...
You think I'm small-minded? I'll settle this right away.
Torvald, what are you doing?
Settling it. Helen! Helen, take this outside to a porter and have him deliver it immediately. The address is on it. Here's some money.
Yes, sir.
Torvald, what was it, that letter?
Krogstad's dismissal.
No, call her back! Please, you don't know what it'll do to us!
Nora, it's too late.
Yes, too late.
Darling, I don't blame you for being upset, even though it's insulting to me. To think that I could be afraid of that worn-out pen pusher. I don't blame you, because it shows how much you love me. Darling, let me tell you how it'll be. Whatever happens, whatever Krogstad does, I'll take the burden alone. All of it.
No, you'll never have to do that.
We'll share it then. As husband and wife, that's how it'll be. You need to relax. Why don't you practice your tarantella? Practice your tambourine. I'll go in the study and I'll shut the door. I won't hear. Make all the noise you want. And then when Ron comes, tell him where to find her.
He was ready to do it. He can, he will. No, he mustn't. I must stop him. Something. There must be something. How? What? Dr. Rock, yes. Anything. Doctor, come in. I recognize your ring. Don't disturb Torvald right now. He's busy.
Oh, and what about you?
You know I've always time for you.
Thank you. I shall make the most of it for as long as I can.
As long as you can.
What? Is something the matter?
Sounded odd, that's all. As if you were expecting something.
I have been expecting it, just not quite so soon as all.
What is it, Duncan? Tell me.
Well, I'm done for. I'm incurable. There's no point lying to myself. I'm in the worst state of all my patients. I spent the past few days reviewing my own case. It's terminal. In a week I'll be running in the churchyard.
Don't be horrid.
It is horrid, and it won't get any less horrid. Nora, Torvald is a fastidious man. Ugliness disgusts him. I will not have him in my sick room.
Doctor!
Absolutely not. Doors barred. I'll send one of my calling cards marked with a cross the second I know the worst. You know the violence, the solution has
You're
begun.
being ridiculous. I wanted you to be in such a good mood.
With death at my elbow? For someone else's guilt? How is that fair? But I think it's the same in every family in the world. Retribution, one kind of...
La la la!
It's a
Be
joke.
nice!
The entire
Be
thing
nice!
is a joke. My father indulged himself, and my poor blameless spine has to pay the bill.
Foie gras. Asparagus.
Truffles.
Oysters.
Naturally.
Port champagne.
Yes.
What a shame such lovely things take it out on our poor old bones.
Yes, especially poor old bones that never had the pleasure of them in the first place.
That's the worst of it all.
What?
Doctor, you smile.
You were laughing.
Why did you smile?
You're even wilder than I thought.
I am in a wild mood today.
Yes, so it seems.
Doctor, dear doctor, don't die. For Torvald, for me, don't die.
Get over it. Out of sight, out of mind.
What
Find
do you
someone
mean?
else.
Who does? Who will?
You. Torvald. You started already. Mrs. Lynch, why else was she here yesterday?
Oh, you're jealous.
Of course I'm jealous. Once I'm dead and gone, she'll be the one to take my...
She's in there.
You see? You started already.
She's doing some sewing. There you are. But doctor, come sit down. There's something I want to show you.
What?
Are you ready?
stockings.
They're lovely, aren't they? It's dark now, but tomorrow... No, don't look at don't look at the legs. Just the feet. What's the matter? You don't think they'll fit?
Well, I've no way of telling.
You naughty boy!
What other delights am I to see?
None at all. You're far too naughty.
Sitting here with you, it's so friendly. It's hard to realize that I'm going. What would my life have been like if I had never known this
You
house?
really feel at home here, don't you?
To have to leave it forever.
You don't.
To have to leave without a single token of what it's meant to. Hardly a backwards
Doctor,
match.
what if I asked you for something?
Yes.
No, I couldn't.
Anything.
Advice, a favor?
I'd be delighted.
You don't even know what it is yet.
The bigger the better. Just tell me. Don't you trust me?
You know I do. You're my dearest, truest friend. It's something you can help me prevent.
Yes.
You know, Torvald loves me. Deeply, beyond words. He'd give his
Do you
life
think
to
he's the only one, Laura?
What?
The only one who would give his life for you?
Ah,
I swore that I would tell you before I went, but now, Nora, now you know.
excuse
No.
me.
Nora.
Helen, bring in the lamps. Doctor, that was uncalled for.
Uncalled for? To love you as much as another man?
To tell me.
Nora, Mrs. Helmer, are you saying you knew?
What I knew. Doctor, how could you be so clumsy?
All that matters is now that you know. And now you know that you can rely on me like on nobody else. Tell me what it is.
What?
Nora, please.
Not now.
Don't punish me.
I don't really need help. It was just a silly game. Nothing's the matter at all. Don't you feel foolish now in proper light?
Not in the least. But perhaps it better be. I went forever.
No, don't change, don't go. You know what it means to Torvald.
And to you.
Doctor, you know I always enjoy you.
And that's why I don't understand. I don't understand you, Nora. Sometimes I think you enjoy my company almost as much as Torvald.
That's it exactly. Company. Some people's company we enjoy, and others we love. When I was a girl, I loved Daddy more than the whole world. How I longed to sneak down to the servants' quarters. I could talk to them about anything. They never told me what to do.
So it's their place that I've taken.
No, of course not. That's not what I meant. It's just... Torvald, Daddy... You know how they can be.
Madam,
Nothing wrong.
No, it's my new dress.
It's in there, your new dress.
This is a different one. It's one I've ordered. I wanted it to be a surprise for Torvald.
Oh, so that's the big bad secret.
Yes. Go away to him now. He's in the study. Keep him there.
Don't worry. He won't get away.
He's in the kitchen waiting.
he came to the back door.
I told him no one was in.
It didn't do any good.
He won't leave.
He said he had to talk to you.
All right, we'll show him in. But Helen, keep it a secret. It's a surprise for my husband.
Yes, I understand.
Your boys are your husband's.
Doesn't matter.
What is it that you want?
I want you to explain something.
What?
You know I've been sacked?
I tried. I couldn't do anything.
So little for you. He knows the harm.
What
He's
makes
still-
you think he knows?
I thought he hadn't. I can hardly imagine Torvald Helmer being so brave.
I thank you to show a little respect.
As much as he deserves, but since Milady's kept it so carefully to herself, I imagine it sunk in since yesterday. Exactly what you've done.
No, thanks to you.
I'm a very bad lawyer, remember?
What is it that you want?
Mrs. Helmer, I was anxious about you. I've had you in my thoughts all day. A cashier, a pen pusher, a non-entity like me can still feel sympathy.
Then feel some then for my children.
As much as you and your husband felt for me, never mind. I came here to tell you that there's no need to take this business to heart. There will be no accusations made from this side.
I thought there wouldn't be.
It's going to all be solved quite easily, amicably. No one will ever need to know except the three of us.
No, my husband must never find out.
And how will you prevent that? Are you saying you can pay the balance?
Not at the moment.
Do you have some other quick way
None
of
that
finding
I intend to use.
It wouldn't matter anyways. However much you pay, I'm not giving up that paper.
What are you going to do with it?
Keep it, that's all. Keep it safe. No third party will ever hear of it. Just in case you had any crazy ideas of running away, for example.
How did you know? Who
Don't
told you that I
bother.
was...
We all think that at first. I thought that too, but I wasn't brave enough.
Neither am I.
Exactly. You aren't brave enough either.
No.
It'd be stupid anyways. Once the first storm at home blows over, I have a letter here for your husband.
Telling him everything.
As objectively as possible.
Tear it up. He must never see it. You'll get your money.
I thought I just told you.
I don't mean the loan. Whatever it is you're asking for my husband, I'll find it.
I'm not asking your husband for money.
What then?
I told you, Mrs. Elmer. I want to be respectable. I want to get on. I want your husband to help me. I've had clean hands for 18 months, and it's been very difficult. But I didn't mind. I was working my way up, step by step. But now I've been sacked. I won't be satisfied with simply getting my job back. I want reinstatement in a higher position. Your husband will find me one.
No, he
I
won't.
know him. He won't dare argue, and once I'm back, just wait and see. In 1 year less, I will be the manager's right hand. Not Torvald Helmer, but Niels Krogstad.
No, never.
Are you saying
I'm brave enough now.
you don't scare me? A fine lady, airs and graces.
Just wait and see.
Under the ice, perhaps. In the deep, dark depths, floating up in spring, floating, unrecognizable, your hair
You
falling
don't
out.
scare me!
And you don't scare me. Mrs. Helmer, no one does things like that. It would be pointless anyways. I'd still have your husband exactly where I want him.
You mean even if I were to...
Have you forgotten? I own your reputation. So, stand warned. Don't do anything stupid. Your husband will receive that letter, and I will wait for a reply. And remember this. It was him, your husband, who made me do this, and I will never forgive him for that. Good afternoon.
He's going. No, he's not going down the stairs. Right now. He's changed his mind, yes. No, unless... The letter. In the box. Torvald, he's ruined us.
That didn't take long.
Christine, come here.
What's the matter?
Do you see that letter? There, in the box.
Yes.
It's from Krogstad. Now Torvald will know everything.
Man,
Christine, you don't understand. I forged a signature.
For heaven's sake.
You must speak for me, all right? If I had to go away somewhere, or if I were to go crazy, if someone tried to take the
What are
plane,
you saying?
then you must speak for me. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm not crazy. I know what I'm doing, and I'm telling you. It was my idea, though. No one else knows about it. Just don't forget.
I don't understand.
How could you? What's about to happen is a miracle. It mustn't happen, Christine, not for all the world.
I'm going to see
No,
instead.
he'll hurt you.
Once he would have done anything for my sake.
Krogstad.
Where does he live?
Wait. Yes, his card. I have it here, but Christine, it's too late. The letter! The letter!
Nora,
What?
you locked the door. Are you trying to dress on?
Yes, Torvald, I'll look lovely!
It's just around the corner.
Christine, you don't understand. It's too late. The letter is already in the
And
box.
Jackson has the
The only one.
Krogstad must ask for his letter back unopened. He must find some excuse.
It's now the Torvald
Follow
always...
him! Go in there. Be as quick as I can.
as I was to expect a transformation.
I suppose I was mistaken.
No one is to admire my new dress until tomorrow morning.
Nora, you look worn out. Have you been practicing too hard?
No, I haven't practiced.
You ought to.
I will, but I need you to help me. I can't remember it all, and I'm terrified. All those people.
We'll soon bring it back.
Yes, help me. Tonight, tomorrow, focus on me. No business, no pens, no papers.
I promise. Tonight I'm yours and yours alone. Just a moment.
Torvald, where are you going?
Just to check the post.
No, there isn't any, I swear.
I'll just have a look. Aha!
I can't dance tomorrow unless I rehearse with you.
You're really nervous?
There's time before dinner. Let me practice. Sit and play and put me right, all right?
All right. Whatever you want.
All right, I'm ready. Play.
It's right.
I told you.
Here, just can't see. Yes, good. Now I'll be able to see better.
All right. Go. Look, Christine, look!
Nora, anyone who thinks that
You
you're right
dance!
doesn't understand. No, stop. Wrong? Stop. This is ridiculous. It's incredible.
I
You've forgotten the
told you!
whole thing. You need a lot of
And
practice.
I need you to help me. Tell me what I'm doing wrong like you did before.
I said I would.
Please. Tonight, tomorrow, focus on me. No business, no letters. Don't even open the postbox.
You're still afraid of him.
Yes.
He's written a letter and it's here now.
I don't know, but don't open it. Not tonight. Not now. Nothing nasty must come between us.
Better humor her.
All right, whatever my darling wants. But after tomorrow night, after you've done
You'll
your
be
dancing...
free of it.
Madam, dinner served.
Bring champagne, Helen.
Yes, madam.
What's this I hear? A celebration?
A banquet all night long. We'll have champagne and macarons. Platefuls and platefuls and macarons.
It's all right. Calm down. There.
Going now. You too, Doctor. Christine, help me fix my hair.
She's not.
No, my dear friend. You're so overexcited, that's all.
I'm telling you, she's not doing it.
Well,
Gone, out of town.
I knew it as soon as I saw it. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. I wrote him a note. I wish Mom had. What's about to happen is a miracle, Christine.
A miracle.
You couldn't guess. Go in now. I'll join you soon, all right? At o'clock. 7 hours. Till midnight. 24 hours till the next midnight. 7 and 24 days. That's 31. 31 hours. 31 hours left to live.
Let's keep you my little singing bird.
She's here! She's here!
Still not. It's almost time. Perhaps he won't. Here he is. Come in. There's no one here.
You left me a note. What is it?
I must talk to you.
Here?
Not at my lodgings. I don't have my own entrance. Come in. There's no one here. The servants are asleep and the homeless are upstairs at a party.
Party tonight of all nights?
Why shouldn't they?
No reason?
Nils, we've got to talk.
Do we?
It's important.
Really?
You've never understood.
What was there to understand? It was obvious to anyone, a heartless woman jilting a man as soon as a better chance turned up.
Heartless? You really think so? You think it was easy?
Wasn't it?
You really thought so?
If it wasn't, then why did you write what you wrote?
What else could I do? I had to break with you, Nils. It was essential to kill everything you felt for me.
Yes, I see, and all that for money.
I had a bedridden mother and 2 small brothers. We couldn't wait for you, Nils. We had no prospects then.
And you'd no right to throw me away for someone else.
Who can judge?
When I lost you, it was like being shipwrecked. Look, I'm drowning.
Help may be near.
It was near, until you came and interfered.
Until today, I had no idea which short job they were giving me.
If you say so, but now you do. What will you do now? Turn it down?
I wanted to help you.
What's help to do with it?
Life hard for me, I've learned.
And I've learned to distrust fancy speeches.
Kind words, yes, but deeds?
What do you mean?
You said you were drowning.
It's true.
Well, so am I. No one to weep for, to care for.
You chose it.
I had to then.
What do you mean?
Knows. Two drowning people. Can't you help each other?
You,
Two together. Support each other.
Christine,
What else do you protect you?
you thought of me?
All my life, as long as I can remember, I've worked. It's been my greatest pleasure, my only pleasure. Now I'm alone, empty, thrown away. Where's the satisfaction in working for oneself? Nils, give me something to work for.
Hysteria, female hysteria, extravagant self-sacrifice. That's what this is.
For me?
You know all about me, my past,
Yes.
and what I count for here?
You said just now, hinted, that if I'd been with you, things would have been different.
Quite different.
And now?
Christine, you mean this. I can see it.
I
You really
need
would.
someone to mother. Your children need a mother. And I need each other. I trust you, Nils, the man you really are.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you. Now I can climb again. Oh, I forgot.
The tarantella. Go now.
What?
As soon as it's done, they'll be coming.
I'll go, but there's nothing we can do. You don't know what steps I've taken
Nils,
with the Helmers.
I do.
And still you...
It's there. I know what it makes people do.
I can cancel
You
it.
can't. Your lecture's still there in the box at the door.
It's her you want to say. Your friend. That's what this is?
Nils, someone who sells herself once for someone else doesn't do it twice.
I'll ask for my letter back.
No.
Yes, I'll wait for Helmer.
No,
I'll
no,
tell my
you
niece.
mustn't.
It was just about my
Don't
sister.
ask for it back.
It's why you asked me here, why you wrote.
It was yesterday. I was in a panic. But since then, you won't believe the sights I've seen in this house. Helmer must know the truth. The secret must come out. No more lies, tricks. They must understand each other.
Whatever you say, but there's one thing I can do, and I'll do it now.
Hurry. Go. They finished. We're not safe a moment longer.
I'll wait downstairs.
Yes. They will send me to the door.
This is the luckiest day of my life.
At last. Someone to work for, live for, a home. There. It's all I want. If only they'd come.
Nora, darling.
There,
Oh,
here.
please, it's too soon. I want to go back out. Just another hour, please, for dear little Nora. Christine,
Mrs. Lynn, isn't it rather late?
I'm sorry, I was dying to see Nora in her dress.
you've been sitting up waiting.
I just missed you. You got upstairs. I couldn't go home again without seeing you.
Well, here she is. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she delightful?
She's...
They all thought so upstairs. But what an obstinate little thing it is. Whatever we're going to do with her, do you know I almost had to steal her away by force?
Torvald, it would have been all right. Just another half hour.
She danced her tarantella. A triumph, as well as it should have been. A little more energetic, perhaps, a little more enthusiastic than artistic, but a triumph nonetheless. Was I going to let her stay after that? Of course I wasn't. I took my little Capri Fisher girl, my delicious, capricious little Fisher girl on my arm, a swift tour over the room, curtsy here, curtsy there, and the vision of loveliness was gone, as they say in fairy tales. Always make a good exit, Mrs. Lynn, that's what I'm always telling her. But it is hot in here. And dark, so excuse me.
Well, I talked to him.
And
Nora, you must tell Torvald everything.
I knew it
You
too.
have nothing to fear from Krogstad, but you must tell Torvald.
No, I won't.
The letter will.
Well then, Mrs. Lynn, have you gauged your fill?
I'll say good night.
Oh, wait. Is that yours, that knitting?
I forgot to know about it.
You knit as well.
Yes.
Have you ever tried embroidery?
Why?
Far more becoming. You see, with embroidery, you hold the frame in the left hand like this, and the needle in the right. A nice, easy, graceful movement.
Yes.
Whereas knitting, no such gracefulness. Elbows in, needles pumping up and down like chopsticks. That was wonderful champagne.
See you tonight, Nora. And don't be obstinate.
Well said.
Night, sir.
Do you need me to walk you out? I could easily. No, it's just around the corner. Good night. Good night. What a boring woman.
You must be tired.
Not at all.
Sleep.
What about you? You look exhausted.
I must go to bed.
Aha, you see I was right to make you come away.
You're always right.
That's it. Little singing bird making lots of sense. Did you notice Ronk this evening? How happy he looked?
I hardly spoke to him.
Neither did I, but I've seldom seen him so jolly. It is nice to be home, just the two of us. Just you and me.
Orville.
My darling, sweetheart, no one else's. My treasure.
Don't look at me like that.
Ah, little Miss Tarantella still. But listen, the guests are leaving. Soon it will be so still, so still.
I hope so.
Darling, you know when I take you to a party, and I don't really talk to you, I just look at you every now and again from across the room? You know why I do that? I'm pretending that we're secret lovers, and we're promised to each other, but no one else, just us. No one else knows, just us.
I know you're thinking.
And then when it's time to come away, I'm arranging the shawl on your pretty shoulders, your lovely neck. I'm imagining that you're my new young bride. And all night I've longed for nothing but you, Nora. When you danced the tarantella, my blood pounded, I couldn't bear it. I hurried you down here and...
Orville, stop! I won't! Let me go!
I'm your husband!
Listen!
Who is it? It's me. Can I come in for a moment? I thought I heard you. Just wanted to make sure. Ah, yes, these dear, lovely, familiar rings. Cozy little home.
See, you enjoyed the party as well?
And why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't we all enjoy every blessed thing as much as we can and as long as we can? Sorry, it was good wine. I'm just amazed at how much I managed to put away.
Orville drank a lot too. Let's go straight to his head.
There's no harm in a jolly evening after a well-spent day.
Well spent. I can't quite blame that.
I can.
Scientific work. Investigations.
Exactly.
Such big words for such a little girl. Scientific, investigation.
May I congratulate you on the results?
Indeed you may.
Good ones.
For the patient and the doctor were the very best.
I know.
I know. So didn't I deserve a jolly evening after all that?
Of course.
Here, here. So long as you don't stand to regret it in the morning.
I don't believe anyone should regret anything ever.
You really enjoy fancy dress parties, don't you?
As long as there are lots of pretty costumes.
Well, then what shall we go as next time? You and I.
Little featherbrain thinking of next time already.
I know. You can be a good luck pixie.
And what on earth will she wear for that?
Just the ordinary clothes.
Bravo, how gallant. What will you go as?
I know exactly. Next fancy dress party I shall be invisible.
Really?
This big black hat. Haven't you heard of it? You put it on, you're invisible.
Absolutely right.
But I'm forgetting what I came for. May I have a cigar? One of the Dr. Vandals.
Delighted.
Thank you.
Here, I like it.
Thank you. And now, goodbye.
Goodbye, dear old friend. Goodbye.
Sleep over. Say the same to me.
If you like. Sleep well. And thank you for the...
Farewell. Too much to drink.
Perhaps.
Just a moment.
Orville, where are you going?
I've got to clear the post box. If I don't, they'll
You're
never
not
get the papers in the
working
morning.
tonight, are you?
No, I'm not. Hello? Someone's been at the lock.
The lock.
Yes. Broken curtain. One of yours, Nora.
The children must have gotten into my
Make
things.
sure they never do it again. Helen, put out the front door lamp. Just look at them all. What's this?
Torvald, no, don't!
A visiting card. One of wrongs.
Wrong.
They were on top. You must have just posted them.
Does it have anything on it?
Yes, a cross over the name. What an idea. You'd think he was announcing his own death.
He is.
You know about this. He told you.
He said that when the card came, it was time to say goodbye. He'd lock himself in to die.
Oh, my poor friend. I knew we wouldn't have him long, but still, so soon. Locking himself in like a wounded animal.
Well, if it has to happen, it's better to go without a word, don't
He
you
was
think?
like family. I just can't imagine him gone. He was like the sky, and our happiness was the sun. But perhaps it is best, for us anyway. Oh, we have no one else now, it's just the two of us. In life, I can never hold you tight enough. Do you know I often wish you were in some sort of deadly danger so I could give my heart's blood, my life for you?
Torvald, open your letters.
Not tonight, I want to be with you,
Wrong.
darling.
Think of wrong.
You're right. It's come between us. Ugliness, death, a reminder of death. We must try and shake it off. Until then, separate.
Sleep well, darling.
Sleep well, Songbird. Sleep well, Nora. I'll read those letters now.
Never again. Never see him again. Children. Never. Water, deep black. Soon. He's opening it. He's reading. Nothing now. Torvald, children, goodbye.
Nora! Do you know
Let me
what
go!
this letter says?
Yes, let me go! Let
Where
me
are
out!
you going?
No! You can't save me, Torvald!
Wait, it's true? What he writes, it's true? It's not. It
Yes!
can't
You meant more than the whole world!
be. Never mind that.
Torvald!
Nora, how could you?
Torvald, don't take it on. Don't try and save me, please!
Stop playing games. You're staying. You've got to come to terms. Do you understand what you've done to me? Do you understand?
I do now.
It's beyond belief. I can't believe it. To wake up to this. 8 years, my joy, my life, my wife, lies, deceit, a criminal. I should have seen it coming. I should have known, like father, like daughter. I shut my eyes to what he was like for you, for your sake, and this is how you repay me?
This is how I repay you.
You've killed my happiness. You've destroyed my future. I'm trapped in his claws. He'll do what he likes with me. Demand, insist, I can't refuse. A silly, empty-headed woman, and now I'm
When I'm
dead.
out of your way, you'll be free!
Don't talk. Your father was just the same, talk. And even when you're out of the way, as you put it, what good is that to me? He'll tell his tale. Everyone will think that I knew what you were doing, that I was part of it. Behind it even, that the whole thing was my idea. Now do you understand what you've done to me?
Entirely.
It's beyond belief. I can't believe it, but it's happened. You have to cope with it. It must be hushed up at any cost. Take off that shawl. Take it off! You'll stay on here, obviously. You and I must go on as if nothing's happened between us in public. But I won't have you near the children. I can never trust you again. Fancy having me say that to the woman I loved. I still... It's gone. Happiness is gone. Rags, crumbs, pretense. It can't. Not him at this hour. Yes. It's from him. I must read it.
Yes.
the end of us, Nora. No, I must. Nora! Nora, wait, no, just let me check. Yes. Oh, yes, Nora, I'm saved, I'm saved!
And me.
You as well, naturally. So, he sent your contract back. He writes that he's sorry and his life has changed, but what does it matter what he writes? We're saved. Nora, we're saved. No one can touch you. First this must be got rid of. Yes. I won't look at it. Forget it. A nightmare. He wrote that ever since Christmas Eve you... Oh, Nora, these last 3 days have been...
I fought hard these past 3 days.
Racking yourself? No way out? It must have been dreadful, but it's over. Let's not think about it. Let's shout for joy. Nora, don't you understand? It's over. What's the matter? Such an icy face. Oh, I know what it is. You can't believe I've forgiven you. I have, Nora. I swear that I have forgiven you everything. I know that everything you did because you loved me.
Yes.
You loved me as all wives should love their husbands. You were new to it, that's all. You didn't know what you were doing. Don't think that I love you any less just because you didn't know how to manage. I'd hardly be a man if feminine weakness, your weakness, didn't make me love you even more. I'll guide you, darling. I'll protect you. And those hard words when I thought that everything was lost, forget them. I've forgiven you, Nora. I swear that I have.
You're very kind.
Where are you going?
I'm changing. No more fancy dress.
Yes. Yes, good. Be calm, honey. Frightened little bird. Nothing will hurt you. I'll spread my wings, I'll shelter you. It's lovely and warm, our nest, our home. Poor frightened little dove. I'll save you from the hawk. I'll keep you safe. Still, little fluttering heart, be still. Darling, you'll see. Tomorrow, everything will go back to just the way that it was before. You won't need me to remind you that I've forgiven you. You know that I have. Given you everything. I'll never abandon you, never blame you. How can you think so? A husband's love, darling, a true husband's heart, how can you understand it? How sweet, how satisfying to feel that he's forgiven his wife, from the depths of his very being forgiven her. Made her twice his own, given her life, identity, his wife, his child. That's what you are to me now, poor, helpless little darling. Tell me the truth, Norrin. Your will, your conscience, leave both to me. Yes. But what? Not going to bed. You've changed.
Yes, Torvald. I've changed.
But why now? It's late.
I won't sleep tonight.
Nora, darling.
Torvald, sit down. There's a lot to say.
Nora, it's
Sit
so
down.
cold.
We've got to come to terms.
Nora, I don't understand.
Exactly. You've never understood me. And I never understood you until just now. Don't talk, just listen. We've got to come to terms.
What do you mean?
It's strange, isn't it?
What is?
We've been married 8 years. And this is the first time we've sat down, husband and wife, you and I, to talk about something seriously.
Seriously?
It's been 8 years. No, since the very day that I met you, we've never talked seriously about one tiny little thing.
Nora, you didn't expect me to tell you my worries, things you couldn't help me with?
I don't mean business. I mean, we've never settled anything.
Darling, that wasn't your way.
Exactly. You've done me a great wrong, Torvald. You and Daddy before you.
The two men who loved you most in
No!
all the world?
Neither of you loved me ever. It pleased you, the idea of loving me.
What are you telling me?
The truth. When I lived with Daddy, he shared his opinion about everything, so I agreed with him. If I didn't, I never told him. he'd have hated it. He called me his dolly baby and played with me like I played with my dolls. Then I came here to you.
Is that how you describe our marriage?
I was simply transferred from his care to yours. Torvald, you've organized everything to suit yourself, to fit your own taste. So I've shared your taste, or at least I've pretended to. I don't know. Perhaps sometimes one and sometimes the other. But I realize now, I have lived here hand to mouth, like a beggar. I've existed to perform for you. That's how you wanted it. You've done me great harm, Torvald, you and Daddy before you. You've blocked my life.
You're unreasonable, Nora. Ungrateful. Haven't you ever been happy here?
No. Never. I thought I was, but I wasn't.
Not happy.
Cheerful, perhaps. You've always been good to me, Torvald, but it's as if we're living in a Wendy's house. I'm your dolly wife, just as I was Daddy's dolly baby, and the children were my dolls. It was lovely and good when you played with me, just like when I played with them, but that's been our marriage, Torvald. That's what it's been like.
Maybe you're right. Hysterical. Overwrought, but a little right. And now things are going to change. Playtime ends and lessons begin.
Whose? Mine or the children's?
Darling, yours and theirs.
You don't really think you could teach me how to be a proper wife. Your wife!
You're joking.
No, Torvald. How could I bring up the children anyway?
Nora!
You said so yourself just a moment ago. How could you ever trust me again?
I'd lost my temper. Surely you can't think I
It was the truth! I can't bring them up anyways. I have someone else to bring up first. Myself, and if I'm to do it, I have to be alone. That's why I'm leaving you.
What?
If I'm to come to terms with myself, I can't stay here.
Nora! Nora!
No more forbidding.
You're out of your mind.
Tomorrow I'll go home, to the place I was born.
You're
I'll
blind.
find something there.
You don't know how to...
I'll find out how!
You desert your husband, your children? What will
I
people say?
must! Let them say what they will!
It's unbelievable. You abandon your most sacred obligations.
My most sacred obligations! And you know what they are!
You need me to tell you? To your husband, your children.
I've other sacred obligations just as important.
Of course you haven't. What obligations?
To myself!
You are a wife and a mother. They come first.
I don't think so. Not anymore. I am a human being first, just the same as you! Or at least I'm trying to be. Torvald, I know that most people would agree with you. It's what everyone says, it's what they write in books. But I have had enough of what they write in books. It's not enough. I have to think it through. I have to decide if it's right for me.
You should think of your place here, in your own home. Have you nothing to guide you? No belief?
I don't know what that is.
What?
All I know is what Pastor Hansen taught in confirmation class. Belief is this and this, he said. I don't know. I'll think about it when I have time, after I've gone away.
You're a girl. A child. If belief doesn't affect you, then what of conscience? Morality, or have you none
I
of that?
don't know. I can't answer. I'm baffled. All I know is you and I have different ideas about it all. And the law. That's not what I always thought it was. A daughter can't save her dying father from care and worry. A wife can't save her sick husband's life. It can't be right.
You're talking like a child. You don't understand the society you
You're
live in.
right! But I'm going to find out who's right, me or society.
Nor you're ill. You're delirious. I
I've
think you're
never
raving.
felt better. My mind has never felt clearer.
Clearer? Abandoning your husband and your children.
That's what I'm doing!
There's only one explanation.
What?
You stopped loving.
That's it exactly.
How can you say that?
It hurts, Torvald. You've always been kind to me, but I can't help it. I've just stopped.
Something else you're clear about?
Completely clear.
And what did I do?
That's why I'm leaving.
To lose your love. Can't you tell me that?
It was tonight. The miracle didn't happen.
No, you're not
I
making
saw you weren't
sense.
the man I'd always imagined you to be. For 8 years, I have waited patiently. Miracles do not happen every day, God knows. But then I was in revolting catastrophe, and I thought surely, now it'll happen, the miracle. Krogstad sent his letter, and I was sure you'd never give in to him. I was sure you'd write back and say, publish and be damned, and then
When I expose my own wife to disgrace and shame.
You take it all on your own shoulders and say, I did it. Do you think I would have denied it? Of course I would have, but it's my word against yours. That was the miracle, and it was to prevent it that I was going to kill myself.
Nora, I'd work day and night for you. I'd endure starvation, agony, but no man sacrifices his honor for the one he loves.
Hundreds and thousands of women do it every day.
You're talking, thinking like a child.
Perhaps, but you are not talking or thinking like the husband I long for. Tonight, after it was all over, after you had stopped panicking, not for me, but for yourself. As far as you were concerned, everything went back to being the way it was before. I went back to being your pet bird, your dolly, except for now you'd have to treat her with extra care, because she was fragile, breakable. It was then that I realized, Torvald, for 8 years, I have lived with a complete stranger. I have borne him 3 children. I could tear myself to bits.
It's clear. It's clear. There's a gulf opened up between us, but surely we can bridge
No,
it or fill it.
The woman I am now is no wife for you.
I'll change. I can
Perhaps.
change.
If your dolly is taken away,
Nora, don't leave me. I just don't understand.
that's exactly why I must.
Not tonight. It's tomorrow.
I can't spend the night in a strange man's house.
One day, Nora. One day.
Torvald, you know it will never last. Goodbye. I don't want to see the children. The woman I am now can do nothing for them.
Please. One day.
How can I answer? I don't know what I'll be.
Whatever you'll be, and whatever you are, you're still my wife.
Torvald, listen to me. When a wife deserts her husband as I am deserting you, the law frees him of any obligation to her. You're free, Torvald. I'm setting you free. You're not bound to me. There's freedom on both sides. Take back your ring and give me mine.
That too.
That too.
There.
Thank you. I'll put the keys here. The servants know where everything is, better than I do. Tomorrow, after I've left town, I'll send Christine by ship forward my things.
Overdor, won't you ever think of me?
Often, you, the children, this house.
Can I write to you?
No, it's
I can
forbidden.
send you
Nothing.
if you ever needed help.
Nothing. I'll take nothing from a stranger.
Will I never be more to you?
Perhaps. Someday. No, I don't believe in miracles anymore.
I believe. Tell me the miracle. If we changed, if we...
We formed some